How's it going, everybody? Welcome back for my second video today. You knew it was coming, the NHL Draft video. Drafts are probably my favorite sporting events of the year, other than the championships. And that's only if my team is playing in those championships. I just love the drafts. I love looking at the future of sports, and I love looking at the elite talent coming into the league. And there's a lot of it in the NHL this year. I cannot wait for this draft. It's super exciting. And there are a lot of really good bets on it. This is a disclaimer here. When I placed these bets, I did it like 3 days ago as soon as they came out. So the lines on these are going to be quickly changing. I'm not sure exactly what everything is still at, but if you can find them at these odds, you want to take them. Of the sports books that I use, DraftKings is the only one that is offering draft bet props. So I will be using all of my lines from DraftKings in this video, but let's go ahead and get right into it. But before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You know, we've been making a ton of money on this channel so far, 3 weeks in, and we are almost at $400. If you just follow along with my bets, then you can make that money as well. Hit that like button if you enjoy my content, and let's talk draft. First bet I have is actually kind of a chain of 3 bets. I'm going to hedge a little bit on 2 of them, and then also just go ahead and take a swing on another one. Yaroslav Askarov is the biggest X factor in this draft. He could go anywhere from 2 to 20. It is kind of a big question of just where does he fall? Where do teams value him? The thing is, he's going to go high. I don't think enough people are giving him credit because the scouts love this kid. He is the best goalie prospect to come into the NHL since Carey Price. He could go top 5, and he will go top 10. So the first bet that I'm giving you for him, draft position under 10.5. Essentially, this just means he goes as a top 10 pick. You can get that at minus 134. He is favored to go in the top 10. It's likely he goes there. I will be very surprised if he slips to 11 or later because goalies are just too important in the NHL. Yes, goalies tend to be risky, but Askarov is the exception. This is a can't-miss prospect. Teams are going to take him. So going on that tangent, we're going to hedge a little. We're going to do half a unit each on these next 2 bets. Askarov 2nd overall at plus 3,500 and Askarov 5th overall at plus 400. There is a good chance that he goes 2nd. I think people are underrating this. I don't think that it will happen. To be honest, I think it's Stützle. I think Stützle goes 2nd. I think Byfield goes 3rd. I also think that Detroit's going to take another center, so I think Cole Perfetti and Marco Rossi are the options to go 4th. But I think that there is that chance. I think people are sleeping a little bit on the fact that LA could use a goalie. Askarov is once every decade kind of prospect. There is a chance he goes 2nd overall, and at plus 3,500, you have to put a little bit on those odds, which is why we're doing half a unit, and we're hedging a little bit because our next one will take Askarov at 5th overall at plus 400. 5th overall to Ottawa is a super good landing spot for him because they have 2 picks in the top 5. They have that luxury, which means that they can go with that goalie pick, you know. It's perceived as a little bit riskier. Like I said, I don't think that it is in this case. I like it. I like Ottawa to go with Askarov at 5th overall, and at plus 400, you're still getting really good odds. There's a chance that he slides straight past Ottawa. Maybe they do want that goal-scoring winger. Maybe they want an Alex Holt or a Jack Quinn or even a Lucas Raymond. But if they've already taken their center, they already took Byfield or Stützle at 3rd, and then they see, all right, we're at 5th. Maybe Detroit took the winger we wanted. Maybe Detroit took Alex Holtz. Or maybe they wanted a Marco Rossi or even. So they're sitting there. The guy they wanted at 5th is gone. Yaroslav Askarov is still there. There's a good chance they take him. So I like Askarov. I think he goes higher than a lot of people expect. I've seen a lot of mocks with him sliding into the late teens, even into the 20s. I would be shocked. He's going in the top 10, and we've got a couple of bets on that. So I like Askarov. The next one that I like is another strange one. Jamie Drysdale to go before Jake Sanderson. So essentially, who's the first defenseman off the board? Drysdale's actually a pretty heavy underdog in this one. He's, I guess not pretty heavy, but plus 120. I like that a lot. This is weird because if you are following along with me, if you followed along with the Off-Brand Avalanche podcast, you know that in May I called Sanderson to go above Drysdale, and at the time that was blasphemy. But a lot of scouts do like Sanderson better. The reason that I think Drysdale goes first is, like we've been talking about the top five, I don't think that a defenseman goes in that top five. I think it goes, if I'm just putting out a quick little mock here, I think that you're taking Lafreniere at first. Stützle, Byfield, I think Stützle goes second, Byfield goes third. I think Cole Perfetti goes fourth, and I think that either Askarov or a winger goes fifth. So I don't think that there's a very good chance that a defenseman goes in the top five. But then when you get to pick 6, then you're talking about Anaheim, and Anaheim desperately needs a defenseman. They're taking a defenseman. The question is, will it be Drysdale or Sanderson? They really need a righty. They've got some lefties in their system, not an elite lefty, but they just do not have a right-handed defenseman in their system. Jamie Drysdale is that righty. So I like him to go first just because I think he's a better fit in Anaheim. I will say, just as a warning, it is possible that they go with Sanderson. They have a tendency to take out of the USHL a lot more often than they go to the WHL. But these two are close. Drysdale has been the front runner all year long, and he's just the better fit for Anaheim's system. So I think there's a good chance you can get him at really good odds, even though I feel like he should be favored to go first over Sanderson. So I like that bet. And finally, I have 2 more bets, both of these with Hendricks Lapierre. This is a guy who is a top 5 talent that has had injury issues, but I think that those injury issues have been a little bit overhyped outside of the NHL. So in the little draftnik community, people who are just talking about the draft who aren't actually working for teams, I think are overhyping the amount that NHL teams are going to care about Lapierre's injuries. And that's mostly because we now know that a lot of his concussion problems have actually been vertebrae injuries. We don't know exactly which ones were concussions and which ones were vertebrae injuries. It's possible they were all vertebrae injuries. But NHL teams are going to fall in love with the talent. They're going to convince themselves that, you know what, those weren't actually concussions, so it's not as big a deal to worry about. This is an elite talent that we can get later than we should be able to get him. So we're going to go ahead and take him. And there are a couple bets you can get on, pretty good odds on him. Under 18.5 on his draft position, so to go in the top 18 picks at even odds. This to me is great money. This is, even if were all concussion issues, with this kind of talent, I think he still goes in the top 15. So he's going in the top 15 at 18.5. I love that. So even odds, we will take it. And finally, on Lapierre, just Lapierre going before Rodion Amirov. Rodion Amirov is another prospect that I love, but if you're just comparing the caliber of talents here, there is no question that Hendricks Lapierre is the better talent. Both of these guys are kind of boom or bust prospects. If you're drafting them, you're taking a pretty big swing anyway. So if you're going to take that big swing, you're going to take it for the more talented prospect, and that's Hendricks Lapierre. So I do think he goes before Amirov. I don't know where exactly they both go. I think they probably both go in somewhere between 11 and 16 in that same range, but I think Lapierre comes off the board first. So I like that bet quite a bit, and at plus 115, those are some nice odds. So that's all I've got for the NHL draft. I think we have a good chance to make some good money here. A lot of great bets going on, and I just cannot wait to watch it. So if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in my next video.